I went from a indicator based to a support and resistance level and certain candlestick formations. I used the ATR to help me for profit target and a 1.5 ATR as a fixed stop loss.
Welcome back to the CTI YouTube channel. In today's interview, we're going to meet Kevin, who has recently passed the CTI Evaluation and is now one of our portfolio managers. So stick around until the end so you can hear his story, a little bit about his strategy and his performance, which is really impressive. Once you hear about the risk management that he's followed, it's something that you want to also do when you want to succeed as a portfolio manager with CTI. So don't forget to smash that like button, show some love in the comments, subscribe to this channel, and make sure that you share this video with other traders that just need that little bit of motivation to get started. And if you're interested in one of our funded accounts, use the link in the description below for full details. So, how you doing, Kevin?
All right. Yeah, doing really well. Thank you. Good being here.
Well, thank you for being here and well done for passing the CTI Evaluation.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, that was quite a journey. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy thing to do. You have to demonstrate a lot of discipline. Really, at the end of the day, following the rules. You have to follow our rules. You have to follow your own trading rules. And this is where most traders trip up.
Yeah, that's a tough one, following the rules. Especially when they're your own rules. Those are even more difficult to follow.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about yourself. Where are you from and how did you get into trading?
Okay, well, first of all, I moved to the UK in 2016. I'm originally from the Netherlands, actually. I was introduced in currency trading in 2012. I did a little bit of trading myself, but it was for a really small account. And I believed the YouTube hypes that it will make a 600% a day. I thought, I can easily start with £500 and then that will blow up in next week I'm going to be a millionaire. But it turned out not to be that way. So kind of demotivated me. And here and there I started to pick up trading again. And last year I started to become more serious again. Then I found you guys in the 1st of April. I pulled the trigger. I'm not going to mess about anymore. I have to get serious with this. And 1st of April I started. And
okay, so this was your first evaluation with CTI?
Yeah. First evaluation.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Thank you.
For most traders, it takes a few goes. That's quite sort of normal, and you need that really. You need a few times to sort of get warmed up and learn from your mistakes, learn from I guess your strengths and weaknesses, but you've managed to do it in one go. So, what would you say allowed you and helped you make that decision and stay disciplined the first time?
Well, as I mentioned earlier before, because I started to do judo last year, and you have those days that you actually don't want to go and you don't want to do it, and you still have to show up and you still have to do it. That's the only way that you get better, by doing it every time when you said that you have to show up. And I think that has been one of the big helps for me, that helped me to push through and get this result.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And there's so many similarities between a martial art like judo and trading, and it all comes down to discipline. And it's just like you said, it's the discipline of turning up even when you don't feel like it. The fact that you do that with your judo, that's definitely a practice that enhances and actually improves your performance as a trader. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And especially when you manage to sometimes get physically tired, your mind is distracted with other things. So I noticed the days that I did train and I come home, I sit down, I mainly train the daily chart. So after my training, I sit down, I'm much more calmer and much more focused on my trading than the days that I didn't go to a training, in this case judo, or any other sport that you would like to do. It's been absolutely a massive contribution to get me where I am today.
Fantastic. There's so many benefits to exercise, as we all know. We all know exercise works. But why is it that traders still don't turn up to the gym or sign up to a martial arts, or whether it's tennis, whether it's swimming, whatever it is? It's so hard for traders to be consistent with their health and well-being. How are they supposed to achieve consistency in their trading if they can't be consistent with their well-being? So this is something that I've noticed, and this is something that I coach the bank level traders, that always, whenever I'm on a live stream with them or live call with them, I'm always talking about being consistent with your health and well-being, making the time in your day to eat well, to exercise, to rest enough, hydration. These are very simple things trades. But if you fail to do that, you're not going to set yourself up for the optimal peak performance in your trading. And you just said it right there.
Yeah.
On the days that you train in your judo are the best days in your trading.
Oh, absolutely. But it's hard work and that's tough. The sofa is so darn comfy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, comfort zone, right? That's exactly on the sofa, chilling at home. That's the comfort zone. And then most traders, they're lazy. That's the fact. They're just lazy. And so they expect to succeed like you have, pass evaluation and scale your trading business, but they're too lazy to put in the work. I mean,
you do have to show up every day.
You got to show up every day. So what kind of trading strategy did you use to pass the evaluation? Like what is your edge?
Okay, I must admit I did adjust my strategy because my 3% drawdown, I thought that was already too much actually. So I went from a indicator based to a support and resistance level and certain candlestick formations. I used the ATR to help me for profit target and a 1.5 ATR as a fixed stop loss. As soon as it reached my 1 ATR, I would move my stop to a break even, take half a position off and let the rest run. Because at the end of the day, no one knows where the market goes. It can be 100 pips, but it can also be 1,000 pips that you can make that day, week, month. By letting that half of the trade go, I think that had a massive help in getting the gains in my account that I needed to cover the losses and then make more.
What I really like about what you said is you literally focus on risk management. Risk management is a big part of the process that you follow. It's a big part of your trading. And if we have a look at your actual balance, it wasn't an easy evaluation. Far from it. I can see here in the first sort of 70 trades or so, you were actually in drawdown. What happened at this point? Do you remember this trade?
Those are multiple trades. It's not just one trade.
Yeah.
Because I can be in a trade for a month. This one big winner I had was, I believe, nearly a month and a half I was in that trade, but constantly moving the stop loss. But in the meantime, you gain losses. There I start to realize when I have to have less losses, otherwise I'm going to hit my max drawdown that I'm allowed. And then I have to start all over again. There I started to adjust my strategy that, okay, I need to take out at least half positions so that I can mitigate those losses with those 0.5% that I would take out.
Yeah.
And from there on, you can see in my growth that it gradually started to go back. From there on, I moved forward.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is the key right here is banking those profits when the market presents them to you. Not allowing your ego, not allowing, I guess, becoming a victim of your emotions, of wanting more, of greed, and just taking those profits. And then gradually, these small wins, they add up. And these small wins, what they do, especially when you follow your rules, is they increase your mental capital. And then that will prepare you for your next 3 trades. That mental capital. All it takes is those 1 or 2 days where you are in flow, you are in sync, and the right trade comes. And that's the definition of luck. For us at CTI, the definition of luck is when preparation meets opportunity. And so you were prepared for these days, these big days where you
those were happy days.
Those, and those days, those are the days that you need to capture as a trader because they don't come often. Look, the majority of the time you're going sideways, most of the time, but sometimes in very few occasions, you just have these big winners.
That's what happened when that's why I took only half the trade out and let the rest run. Because you can be, in this case, what you say, the CTI luck, you can be in a massive trend all of a sudden. And in this case, you were lucky you got in early, and that's where you have to bank.
Yeah, and most importantly, you need to have the process. You need to have that process of when do you actually bank profits? And you've described it. You're using your ATR to determine when you should be banking your profits and moving your stop loss to break even. You have those rules. And now you just got to rinse and repeat that. That is your edge. And let's have a look at your stats here. Your stats are very, very impressive. You mentioned that 3% thought was quite high. The reality is the 4% drawdown that you get, this is what hedge funds do, right? Hedge funds, they require and they force traders to have a relative drawdown in their performance, right? That keeps them sharp, and it's mostly psychological. And that's why we have the relative drawdown, because we know that that's going to push and force traders like you to be disciplined. And so you obviously halfway through, you realize, okay, I'm about to sort of blow up here. And then that made you sort of shift your approach into more a risk management approach, which is just going back to, it was this bit here, right? When you really started focusing on risk management and then when the opportunity came, you were prepared for it. And then you continue to use risk management, but offensive. So you can use risk management in two ways: defensive and offensive. Right? So this is defensive type of risk management. This is offensive, where you're taking these small wins. And this is what you want. I can see here that your average losses are very low. And I'm quite impressed by your largest loss. Your largest loss was $22 and your biggest win was $90. Obviously, this was just one position, but again, that's a big difference there. Also, you have a high win rate, above average, almost, that's at 56%. You got statistics that shows that 1, you have an edge, and 2, you have a solid risk management, and 3, you know how to execute your edge and risk management. And so that's obviously going to help with your psychology. So very impressive.
Thank you.
Well done. Now you've got the next step. The next step as a portfolio manager is purely psychology now. It literally is you versus you. So if you can go back in time and give yourself some advice as a trader starting off doing your evaluation, what tips would you give yourself?
I still find that a really difficult question, actually. But write down your rules and don't deviate from them. That is the only thing that I can say. From when you start your evaluation, you have to have your rules on paper. Same with what you have to do with your driver's license. When you go to a job every day, there are certain rules in place. Treat it as exactly the same as your driving exam. So you did your studying, you know all the rules that are being applied on the highway code, and you treat it the same way as when you go to work every day. That do have to give your best to do a proper job. Then you can turn this in a really profitable business for yourself, as long as you don't deviate from your own rules, which is actually much harder following your own rules than other people's rules.
It is. But you've demonstrated that you can do it. So now it's a matter of just getting your head down, focusing, and just repeat what you did good. And replace the behaviors, the mistakes that you've made. Have a process for them. Definitely continue with your judo, continue with that process of pushing yourself physically and mentally, constantly look to improve, because that's really going to help your mindset and your attitude when it comes to trading. Both of that comes hand in hand. And this is something that, I coach the bank level traders on, that they need to focus on their well-being. They need to focus on rest, hydration, diet, exercise. Even the people that they surround themselves with. This is what we talk about very often. This is the next step for you. So I wish you the best of luck, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.